Ladies and gentlemen, lovers and swingers, it's the end of the week. This is the only thing between you and the pillow. It's time to hit a big note on the bed flute. It's time to fiddle, giggle, wriggle. It's time to Club Buggery. Tonight, This Sporting Life presents Club Buggery live from a date with the Ian Smith Room here at the ABC Studios in Gore Hill. Club Buggery featuring vocalist extraordinaire, the Nissan Cedrics.
It's a tough night, Turks. You're part of the story. So loosen the belt and crown for glory.
Supported by Australia's Rolling Stones, on skins Mr. Charlie Watts. On bass, Mr. Bill Wyman. On guitar, Mr. Keith Richards. On trumpet, Mr. Brian Jones. On sax, Mr. Ronnie Wood. And on keyboards, Mr. Mick Jagger. And now, would you please give a big hands-on, walked out, pumped up, Club Buggery welcome to those two vultures of variety, those killers of cabaret, the lairds of Las Vegas, Rampaging Roy Slaven, and H.G. Nelson!
Cedrics, thanks Club Buggers everywhere. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Club Buggery. Coming to you live this evening from the Date with Ian Smith Room here at ABC headquarters in Gore Hill. It's a night when too much variety will be barely enough. And when I say variety, ladies and gentlemen, I mean good old-fashioned family values, loony style variety with a capital V. That's all variety, ladies and gentlemen. And now I'd like to introduce to you a man who's done a lot of operations this week, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, he's done operations in at least 12 mainland hospitals, and Launceston, he was called down to an emergency on Tuesday night. He's operated on some 4,050 patients this week, and the funny thing about all his operations is the patients have lived. And who else tonight, ladies and gentlemen, in the scalpel caper in this nation can claim that? Dr. Roy, welcome to the Date with Ian Smith Room. What's been dancing Ludi style on that little stage inside your mind before the dimming lights this week, pal? Let him get a word out.
Yes, thank you very much, Ashley Nelson. Look, to be perfectly frank, I've been reasonably despondent all week, and I don't think I've been alone. Wherever I've gone, as you mentioned, Launceston, I went to Portland, I went to Wallerawang, I went to Quorn. Wherever I went, people were despondent. They were saying, Roy, what are we going to do? The nation's buggered, etc., etc., all because of one particular figure, and that's the figure that's been dancing in my imagination and the imagination of the nation all week, and with the simple name Norman. And when I mention the name Norman, you've only got to put Greg in front of it. And it all starts to become clear. I'd heard, you'd heard, everyone had heard that the shark, that is, the great white shark, that is, Norman, comma, G full stop, open brackets, GW, great white, and an S and a full stop, i.e. shark, i.e. that shark, the Bob Tway shark, i.e. boat one day, shark, plane same day, shark. My ears are buggered, shark, and I don't know why. Shark wasn't going to be playing in the Australian Open. I had words with PGA officials, you had words with PGA officials. And, well, we came up with a $320,000 package. And the news is, and we can announce it here on Club Buggery right now, live across the nation, so people in Quorn, people in Portland, people in Launceston, people in Wallerawang can buck up, because the shark will be here. The shark is coming from measly $320,000. That's all it took. a bit of a whip around the country, had a bit of a shark tin, and everyone was prepared to put in to get him here, just so you can say, oh, look at that bloke. Oh, yeah, g'day, Sharky. Blown it again. So I feel the weight of despondency has been lifted.
Yes. I can feel that too, Roy. From my position, it's tremendous to know that the great white is back, and obviously he's feeling very fit at the moment. How long this will last, once he gets under your scalpel, I don't know. We live in hope. But with that as a way of setting the scene here in the Ian Smith date room, it's now an enormous pleasure to introduce to you a man who has climbed to the top of that attractive flowering shrub that is umpiring in the winter months. Of course, I refer to none other than Bamford Bill Harrigan. Nissan Cedrics, can you complete the colour by numbers picture of Bill Harrigan?
Our Bill, why is he hated? Our Bill, he does it for mateship. With just a whistle and his wits, he adjudicates all the big hits. Our Bill, the one in the middle. Our Bill, the game is a riddle. He keeps the 10 meters apart. It takes guts, courage, and heart to be Bill. What a man, what a man. Our Bill, Bill Harrigan, our Bill.
Thanks very much for coming in, Bill. And look, I'd like you to ask you to first up to put on the police hat, if I could, and suggest that there is a problem with the New South Wales Police Force, and it concerns the problem of police people being able to earn extra money posing nude for monthly magazines. Now, this does seem to be rule for the blokes and a rule for the dames. And the rule for the blokes is they can do it and cop the lolly, and the women have to leave the force. Now, do you think this is fair? Do you think this reflects well on the New South Wales Police Force? What does the mind of Bill Harrigan think about this problem? I say this, Bill, while you gather your thoughts. Having been approached by the Super League to do a referee's calendar, and I'm wondering if you could pack down as Mr. June in the 1996 referee's calendar, because I believe that the human face of refereeing in this nation needs to be exposed, and that is done best when the referees are nude.
Well, which part of the question you want to answer?
Well, start with the philosophical problem of the New South Wales Police Force. Is there a double standard there?
No.
How do you explain that it's OK for the blokes to stay in the force and cop the quid for posing nude, and for the women in the force, they have to leave once they've posed nude?
I can't.
No, right, good.
Yes, it's an interesting conundrum, isn't it, Bill?
I think you got out of that one very well, Bill.
You put me in the police hat, I was in the witness box.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, you were. Well, we'll keep you there just for a moment, Bill. You know, I've been at the Royal Commission into the Police Force. You know, I've been sitting in every now and again, acting as a witness. I was witness KX9. Bill, the language of the force, that is the parlance, the colloquialism used around the station, it can be pretty blue. Now, you know it's blue, I know it's blue, HG knows it's blue, the nation knows it's blue, here in Club Buggery we know it's blue, and yet kiddies are picked up and doing stir for using blue language. Do you see an inconsistency here as well, Bill, or is it the same as the blokes and the dames doing the calendars nude?
No comment.
Yep, good. I'm glad we've cleared that
I can see why you've remained in the police force for so long. Bill, look, obviously there's many questions we'd like to put to you about refereeing, and we have some footage here of you dismissing Phil Gould from a match, and I'd like to take you through that now. If we could have a look at the footage on the big screen. Here you are, Bill, coming over and just throwing Gouldy out of the game.
Yes.
Obviously you were shocked by his sense of fashion, which we'll get a sense of when we get up and have a look. Was that the only reason why you threw him out? And how do you get on with Phil Gould? There's the sense of fashion I was talking about. And he's fit for a coach, very fit. And is it a relief now, being in the ranks of Super League, not have to deal with Phil Gould anymore?
I don't know.
You don't mind dealing with Phil?
I don't mind dealing with Phil.
Yeah.
I think I dealt with him pretty well that night.
No, I do
you
too.
did.
I think you got the better of him completely.
Said a few things.
What had Phil done, Bill? What had he done? Because I know you had a 2.5-hour meeting with him afterwards, after which time I think Phil said, yeah, I'm sorry. What had he done out there? Because we missed it, and we were there.
Oh, we were there.
We
We
missed
were on
it.
the other side of the
Well,
field.
he said a couple of those blue things.
Oh.
Station talk.
Complaining about your decisions.
Yeah.
But surely that must happen
Referring
every...
to something about nude calendars and...
Right. But surely that must happen for 79 of the 80 minutes that you're out there every week.
No, certainly not.
Oh, right. Oh, that does
Plenty of
surprise me.
respect out there from the players.
Yeah, no, well, let's clear that up. Now, Bill, if we look at an excerpt from Wednesday night, which I thought was appallingly refereed. This was the substandard State of Origin game that was put on by Channel 9. If we can just have a bit of a look here at the first try scored by the Maroons. Now, I call this a knock-on by that kitty there. An absolute knock-on. You saw it, I saw it. Now, yes, look at it here again. It definitely, it's the plainest knock-on I've ever seen. Now, Bill, how would you have judged that? Would you have blown the whistle and called him back?
Well, unfortunately for the Maroons, I would have blown the whistle and pulled it back.
Right.
Yes. Why don't you think the whistle was blown and they were, called back? Is it
Well,
because Eddie Ward's a Queenslander?
No, I don't think so. I think, well, we had the angle there. We could
Yes.
see it from front on, side on, where Eddie was back behind the plate a little bit. So
Because
yeah,
Eddie's too slow. Eddie's too slow for first-class football. And you, Bill, are the fittest referee in the world. Now you are. You've won the award 4 years in a row, fittest rugby league referee. How does it feel when you see someone like old, slow, stupid Eddie Ward waddling about, getting the decisions wrong, mucking up the game, spoiling it for everyone? How does it make you feel?
Eddie's a good mate.
Yes.
That's what they all say, isn't it? Now, we've got a final bit of footage from Wednesday night's match, and I think this is the most popular bit of footage from the match. It's the stink. And the nice thing I noticed by Eddie Ward doesn't whistle time off. So this is rugby league. Let's have a look at modern rugby league. Here it is here. Ladies and gentlemen, around Australia, this is the modern face of rugby league because this is permitted by Eddie Ward on Wednesday night at the MCG as fair play. I love it! I love it! I think Australia loves it, and that is the future of the game, ARL style. It's everybody in, everybody having fun, falling over, missing, taking their jumpers off, taking their pants down, showing bandages. And look at this, a final shot, I hope we can see this, of somebody going the grope round the back there and giving a player a nice wedgie. Yeah. Bill, I mean, the future looks good for the ARL, doesn't it? How can Super League compete?
Well, we just got to get on the field first.
Yes, that's true.
Bill,
We'll be there next year.
Would you have sent some of them off? I mean, if that happened, say, at a first-grade fixture, say, between Orange Sims and Workman's Club, in the Group 10 competition, in my day, they'd have been sent off. People would have been marched. Why weren't they marched on Wednesday night, Bill? And would they have been marched had you been there? And I think they would have.
Ask Eddie first
Yes.
why they weren't marched. And secondly, there wasn't too many punches that landed out there.
Yes,
No.
but it's intent, Bill, it's intent.
You may have got one or two in the bin, but
Yes.
I don't know about send-off.
Oh, that's
Bill,
good to know.
talking about rules, I have here... As you see, the rules just exist
know any
in
of that.
people's minds. They don't exist in reality, and yet we're led to believe they do. I have here the Rugby League, the Rugby Football League, international laws of the game and notes on the laws.
Fast.
I refer to Section 6A, page 20. Section 12, the scrum. Part A. The ball shall be put into the scrum from the referee's side by holding it in a horizontal position with a point in each hand and rolling it along the ground. It must be put into the centre of the tunnel formed by the opposing set of front row forwards. Bill, we haven't seen that since 1907. Why is that law still there? Because you throw it into the second row these days. Now, in my day, you'd be pinged for that. And yet you do it time and time again. You haven't blown the whistle on it. Eddie Ward hasn't blown the whistle on it. Nobody has blown the whistle on it. Why aren't people blowing the whistle on that offence?
Because you're reading out of a 1991 book, it's been updated.
And what's the new law?
Put it in where you like.
It's a very modern game, Roy.
Why have them? Why have, 6 idiots bump into each other to hold up the game every now and again? I mean, what's happened to the beautiful skills of the hooker, Bill? People used to come hundreds of miles just to see a good hooker.
Play hooker.
No, I didn't play hooker, but I loved watching them.
Bill, can we come on to the split now? And I should preface this question by saying there is a split for those who have been on Mars or in parts of Australia where they follow other codes between the traditional Australian Rugby League and the new look Super League. And if there was a message I'd like to take back to Super League headquarters is, can they change the name Super League to something more imaginative, like just steaming pigs or let's put it in anywhere, that sort of thing. What I'd like to say, though, is I know you, on behalf of the referees, have made a lot of approaches to Phillip Street and the traditional game rulers, which have all been knocked back on behalf of referees. Why do you think they were knocked back? Why didn't they see that people in your position deserve to be paid more? And I complete the question by saying the other night, I noticed the man of the match only got $1,000. And I thought, gee, is it any wonder that referees and players look around and see a stadium half full of people, which in the MCG's case is 50,000 people, and they get $1,000 for the prize in the match? I mean, as a listener in Happy Valley wrote to me recently, he said, Happy Valley, South Australia, he said, the Phillip Street administration has kept the league barefoot and pregnant. I can't do better than that, Bill Harrigan. Why has this happened?
I don't know, as you said, I've been an advocate of full-time refereeing. I think referees deserve more, they should have been paid more. They weren't, and that's why you are seeing a Super League come in now. Players are going to that, and also the referees are, because the money's there now. I don't know, I think they probably just thought that we were there, we were a part of the game, and they just left us there on the side, and they looked after the players and the administrative side of it.
So you were taken for granted?
We were taken for granted.
Yes, well, nobody likes being taken for granted. Now, what are you up to now? You're off to New Zealand to referee a few fixtures there?
Yeah, I was over in New Zealand 2 weeks ago, and once every 4 weeks I go to New Zealand to referee.
Right. What's the standard of refereeing like in New Zealand? I hear it's appalling.
I haven't seen too many of the games over there to comment on their refereeing, but I'd say it's, their standard as far as the play goes is probably Metropolitan Cup, their first grade, so it's still good football. Right,
right. And what linesmen, what are they like? I hear they're just dreadful.
They're all right, they like a drink, they're human.
Oh, gee, well, it's gung-ho.
They do drink.
That's great.
And how are relationships between, say, an official authority like the New South Wales Police Force and Super League, given that I should once again say that the police force has provided many, many rugby league players to the ranks of the ARL. I'm not quite sure how the Super League get on, but how do those organisations meld together?
Oh, that'll be fine.
Yeah, that'll be fine. Yeah,
no
sort them
out. No problems.
No problems.
Yep, thumbs up. Thumbs up from the force.
Yeah.
So, well, from the Commissioner? The Commissioner has approved of Super League?
Of course.
Now, can I say also that the great relief for you is obviously not to be out of the clutches of Phil Gould, but also to be on the other side of the fence of Bozo Fulton, who I think, if I'm right, wanted you run over by a cement truck at one stage. You know, obviously he was speaking, you know, trying to lower his tone and speak appropriately. But, gee, it must be good. It must be fresh air on the Super League side for a person in your position.
Well, it's good. I don't have to dodge concrete trucks. I don't have to look left and right when I cross the road anymore, and I don't have to cop abuse from the sideline.
Yes, you don't have to cop abuse from clowns either, like Bozo.
You can say yes to that one, Bill.
Yes.
Well, with that as a final thought, can I ask the Club Buggery audience to thank Bill Harrigan for stopping by and wish him all the best for the future.
I feel nobody's hated. I feel wonder is never made it. With just a whistle and a tune and a flimsy grip of the rules. What a man, I'll Bill Harrigan, I'll be.
Roy, they really do have to do something about this name Super League. It just doesn't cut the mustard.
It sounds stupid, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, how about we run a national poll on Club Buggery to come up with a better name for them than Super Leagues? I mean, it's something simple like Let's Kick Heads.
Yes.
I think we should keep the scrums, though, because people do like seeing 6 fit blokes bending over, parting the buttocks and shoving their head up. I mean, that is not...
I don't think there's a prettier sight in world sport than a very, very nicely formed scrum.
That is a tremendous rap, a tremendous compliment. And now let's go over to, speaking of extraordinary things, to have a look at the work of some extraordinary people doing ordinary things. Let's go over to where the cement is always wet and there's something always oozing about, even if it is dark. Let's go over and visit Ian.
This Sporting Life presents Ian, with Paul Sirman as Ian, Lisa Forrest as Susan, Cole Joy as Ian's dad, Greg Matthews as Ian's friend Cole, Annette Chanoir as Susan's friend Deirdre, Ted Ian Mulry as Bob the neighbour, and introducing Warren Boland as Cole's mate Pete.
That was great, Suze.
Rods, poles and perches.
Who've you got on the show for tonight, Ian?
Soft Dax Minster.
I'm not sure yet. Ray wants me to do Prue acting, but we haven't heard back from her yet.
Crack.
She'd be great.
Front end.
Yeah, I'd ask her about duck shooting with Bill Snedden.
Hi, gang. What's doing?
Hi, Cole. Hi, Pete.
We've got some plans, haven't we, Pete?
Yep.
Back.
What's the story, Pete?
Well, I thought Colin and I might make a bit of a go of a furniture shop.
Sounds good.
Knock, knock. So there you all are.
Hi, swingers.
Cole's been opening a furniture shop.
Sounds great. What's the full story, Pete?
Well, Cole's very good with people, so he'd handle the selling side of things, and I'd select the pieces and do up the antiques out the back.
Gee, they've really thought it through, haven't they, darling?
Well, that don't hold the plan.
No, it sounds great.
It's a wonderful idea.
Yep. Pete's got the good oil on furniture, all right.
Do you think it'll work?
Top plan.
Look, I've been doing some knitting.
Oh, wow. Look, love.
Beautiful.
Gee.
They're so small, so delicate, so...
Stuffed.
Ladies and gentlemen, last weekend Roy and myself represented the whole Club Buggery community at a powwow about the Olympic Games. Obviously there were some financial questions, i.e. where the billion's going to come from that we're already down the tubes for vis-a-vis the Games in the year 2000. But more importantly, a lot of time was spent discussing the final closing ceremony and parties that follow the closure of the Games. And remember, of course, this is after 2 weeks of the best competition in the world. And I think the truth of the matter is that we're still looking for ideas, that we're going to have obviously an official ceremony for all the bigwigs, all the blow-ins from Juan Antonio and Prince Albert of Monaco, those sort of people, out at Homebush, and the people of Australia are going to celebrate where the story of the Olympic Games all began for the Sydney Olympics, and that is round the quay, near the Sydney Opera House, across the bridge and so on. And I think tonight, Roy, I'd like to throw in my hat into the ring and begin suggesting ideas for what form this party should take. Now, it's a simple idea. It'll get underway about 10 o'clock at night after the final shoot out at the Homebush complex, and Australia bagging the final gold medal of a clean sweep of gold in the year 2000 Olympics. That's what I'm aiming for. That's what I'm expecting from the AIS. But, Roy, what are you thinking? What is the mind of Roy Slaven here tonight? Thinking about that closing party that will put Australia on the world map.
Yes.
That will put Australia on the world map forever at the start of the next millennium.
Yes, it's a very good question, isn't it? You know, I was recently, well, you and I were at the second wedding, the second marriage ceremony of Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee. They sort of felt the need to renew their vows after 4 weeks of marriage. It was a very, very moving sort of party. I thought it was tremendous, and there was only one rule: no food, a lot of hooch. It was just champagne and bourbon for a week without food.
In the space gear.
In the space gear.
Yeah.
Now, I thought that was a tremendous idea, and it made me think of the party in the year 2000. I would love to see all of Australia, and I mean literally all of Australia, brought to Circular Quay, roughly at that stage, I guess, to be about 24 million people, with free champagne, free hooch, free bourbon, free beer, and no food for a week. I think it'd work.
Oh, it'd work. It'd work,
With
all right.
simply a series of barges coming down the Parramatta River with, say, different figures on them, like Larry M. Durr, could be on one, Burton Don on another, and people are simply armed with rifles and can line the Parramatta River and the whole Circular Quay area with penny bungers, I'd bring those back, Catherine reels, threepenny bungers, skyrockets, and any armaments they like, and just have a bloody nice big blow across the harbour. I think that would have put Australia on the map, and I would like to see a pole of roughly 4 kilometres tall with Ron Clark tied to the top, which is burnt from the bottom on the last night of the party so that Ron just comes down as he did all those years ago in Rome and lost, boom, with a crash, into the water, burning.
Well,
that's a party.
That is indeed a party, Roy. And it's very close to my own thinking, but the only other element that I'd like is to get the slaughtering arts on board. And I can see all the way down George Street, going down to the Quay, this is a major street in Sydney.
Yes.
You start off round about the cinema complex area with your drop box.
Yes.
And you have your animals corralled in the Darling Harbour, area. You bring them up one by one. The kiddies are involved at any stage along the line. You've got your drop box. The kiddies can go in and knock a steer dead. Then it goes and it gets slaughtered all the way down to the Quay, producing chops for the barbecue.
Yes.
This is the only element of your plan that I disagree.
Yes. Oh, you'd have food.
I'd have food. Limited food available.
Well, we
but
wouldn't have to eat it, though. You could just kill it and look at it.
Killed on site. I think that's the element that I'm in favour of. Killing it on site and then barbecuing.
Well, not funny animals. Get the CSIRO involved and cross, say, bunnies with kangaroos and come up with a whole new bloody sort of form.
What would that be, a bangaroo?
A bangaroo? That you could bang off in the drop box and then chop up and laugh at the end of George Street. With your bangers and your bloody Catherine reels, and there goes Larry. Boom!
It's all there, Roy. It's all there. And I would like to say also that as the evening climax, let's say it was the final day, as the evening climaxed, I'd like to see petrol pulled all over the harbour as these barges came down.
Yes.
I'd like to see
set fire to the harbour bridge.
Wait a minute.
Melt it.
Yes, you're getting there. You're thinking in the right direction. Wait a minute. We dismantle the Opera House Berlin Wall style and give a piece to all Australia. And then at the climax, as the fireworks festoon off the bridge, we get a couple of acro props and prop it up, push it up on what we call the Parramatta side and force the thing to collapse into what we call the head side, into the conflagration of petrol going up, the bridge going in, the people hacking away at the Opera House. Don't tell me that people wouldn't remember that sort of party. Because they would. And with that as something to think about.
I think Australians love to party.
Well, it's obvious, Roy, and of course, you know, we'd have to declare a public holiday the next day.
For a month.
People would be too allowed to do anything, they'd be too buggered. And somebody who'd be no stranger to that party, to that sort of excitement is with us now. She's joined, of course, by the V8 dancers, the Nissan Cedrics and the Australian Rolling Stones, and she's here tonight to present her scalding hot rendition of Steam Heat. I'm talking about Miss Jabe Scali!
Steam heat, I got steam heat, I got steam heat, but I need your love to keep away the cold. I got steam heat, I got steam heat, I got steam heat, but I can't get warm without your hand to hold. The radiator's hissing, still I need your kissing to keep me from freezing each night. I got a hot water bottle, but nothing to do to take the breeze from you. Holding me tight, I got steam heat, I got steam heat, I got steam heat, but I need your love to keep away the cold. They told me to shovel my corn in the boiler. They told me to shovel my corn in the boiler. They told me to shovel my corn in the boiler. That don't do no good. They told me to pour some more oil in the burner. They told me to pour some more oil in the burner. They told me to pour some more oil in the burner. But that don't do no good. Coal in the boiler? No good. Oil in the burner? No good. Is it cold? No. Hot? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Come on, people. Get hot. Boink, boink. Boink, boink. But that don't do no good. They told me to shovel more coal in the boiler. They told me to pour some more oil in the burner.
Roy, what a
smacked.
rip snorter of a version.
Smacked.
Yeah, steam heat, it doesn't get any hotter than that. And that's the Melanie Griffiths, One Look and I was his arrangement of Steam Heat. And Roy, you know, that song, it brings back so many memories.
It does.
When was the first time you heard it? I was in Ian Smith's office.
Wearing his trousers?
Wearing his trousers. I'd have to say, Smithy's office, you can always find a pair of trousers lying around. I was working on a couple of contracts with a couple of people, and very attractive contracts they were. And, of course, the office is mic'd to the house PA, and that tune came over, and, I mean, you know, I had to just drop everything.
Yeah.
You know, it's that sort of tune.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I know. I think I was at a party at Larry Emder's.
What an Olympic Games do?
Olympic Games do. Just, you know, nutting out a few ideas for, you know, the end of youth action, or the end of Games festivities. It was a simple sort of night. We just all sat around and looked at Larry and said, you know, smile, mate. And he did. And it was a tremendous night. You know, I mean, it's just so engaging. It was a brilliant night, and that song came up. He had it on cassette.
Yes.
And we listened to that, and it was just a brilliant night.
Yes. Well, I was ferned, as I say.
Yes, you were totally ferned, from memory.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to welcome our first international guest in many years on Club Buggery. She's a tremendous performer, and she's here making her only television appearance while she's in Australia. It's a person who's given us such rip snorters over the years as I Need a Lover, Hit Me With Your Best Shot, Love Is a Battlefield. The list goes on, including the Grammy Award-winning Fire and Ice. Nissan Cedrics, can you flesh out the Pat Benatar story?
Australia's own Pat Cash. It's our new Pat Raptor.
Thanks very much for coming in, Pat. It's tremendous to have you on the show. How easy was it to get this tour together? You're here for 3 dates, tomorrow night in Sydney, then off to Brisbane, and then down to Melbourne on Monday. Flying tour.
Yes.
Is it just a matter of ringing up an agent and saying, I'm available in the first weekend of June, can you get us a few dates?
And then you have to slip them cash. You have to, you know.
Right. Oh, I didn't realise. I thought they paid you. Very naive position, I understand.
Pat, now Australia, you probably haven't been to Australia all that often. Now, as an American person, an American citizen, what awareness did you have of Australia? Was it just Air Supply and Mel Gibson?
Bee Gees.
The Bee Gees, of course. Midnight Oil, perhaps, In Excess.
Definitely.
What did you think of Australia? From over there, what made you think, well, bugger it, I'll go to Australia just for 3 days?
Well, we just heard it was great fun and that everybody liked to rock, and that was a good thing, so we thought we would come and do that, you know.
I think that's pretty right. Now, you've been here for, what, about 5 hours? What do you make of Australia? What have you made of it so far? I mean, does it seem foreign and weird and strange, or does it seem somehow familiar like an old pair of slippers?
Yeah, it's like an old pair of slippers, yeah. It's actually great. We've been having a great time. We've been here for just 5 minutes, but what we've been here for was good.
Yes. I should say that every visiting identity who comes to Australia is asked as soon as they land, what do they make of the place? And of course, obviously, they don't have a great deal of information to base it on, so don't feel too worried about this. Now, is this part of a world tour? You know, you're here in Australia for 3 days, you're off to, say, Indonesia, then Thailand and so on, or is it just a flying visit to Australia and back?
We've just come from Japan, and then when we're finished with here, we're going back to the States to start our American tour.
How'd you find the food in Japan, Pat? I mean, you a sushi person? Do you like raw fish?
Yeah. I was looking for espresso, though. It was...
yes. Well, that'd be very hard to find. Have you tried...
Vegemite?
Vegemite.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, here it is. Now, this is...
I've had it before.
Now, I believe in the United States you put this with very, very hot water and milk and sugar. I wouldn't advise that. It's animal extract, Pat. That's not quite true. It's vegetable extract.
Right,
and it's very, very good for you.
It's very strong.
It is very strong, and that's the way we have it here. So if you're tempted by a little piece that we have there...
I have to eat it and then sing?
Don't be backwards in coming forwards. You just...
You just bloody well leap in there. Don't be scared of it.
And while you're eating, we can ask you questions too. And then, of course, you feel embarrassed because you think all the Vegemites over your teeth. And how's this living on the television? And, gee, they're buffets, those guys. They make it Vegemite on TV and so.
We'll give you the option there, Pat. Look, if you feel
I know the family's here with you. If you'd like to take it out and share it with them later.
The little one would especially.
Yeah, love it. Now, in America, do you spend many nights on the road with, you know, the band and so on, or is it mainly dividing the time between, you know, at home? And then...
We split it up. I spend a lot of time in the studio and writing songs, and then the other half is out on the road, and we take the children, and it's nuts, you know, but it's...
And you're able to make ends meet by doing this, or do you always... the bank card is always screaming. The MasterCard's always screaming. Yes.
Pat, how this unbelievable transition that happened for you, quite late in life, really, because I think you were about 24 or 5 before things really started to happen. Was it an extraordinary thing to wake up one morning and here you are living in a house next to Michael Jackson? You've sold 3 million records for, you know, certain albums, etc. I mean, was it a disappointment when fame arrived, or did you think it was exactly what it was cracked up to be?
It was different. It was always a little strange, you know. Yeah. You don't get to do a lot of the things that you used to be able to do, and then, you know,
yes.
But then it levels off, and it's good.
Because you enjoy doing normal things, don't you?
Yeah.
Like eating Vegemite.
Yeah.
Now, did you see much of Michael, though? I mean, did you ever see him out mowing the lawn and you'd peek over the hedge and, hi, Michael?
No, he's got those animals. He's mostly doing that animal thing.
The Never Never Land.
Yes. So is he a kooky kind of guy to have a...
He's a little kooky. He's a little kooky. But he's nice. He's a nice guy, but he's a little out there.
And is it getting easier to do all of this as you get, you know, let's say 15 years on
well, when you get to be my age, anything's easy.
Yes, right.
You're not scared of much at this age.
Well, that's a comfortable way to be. And your peers, a lot of your peers who would have started off have dropped by the wayside. And is there anything that you feel, you know, you'd pass on to the people in their, say, early 20s when they look at a career over the 40s of how to, you know, towards their 40s, how to keep going? What has kept you interested in it all? Apart from the obvious thrill of coming out to meet your NHG and the Vegemite.
You should eat this every day. This will help you. But, yeah, just you got to have a sense of humor, and you just got to... Don't burn yourself out, you know.
Yes. Is your performance as angry as it used to be, Pat? I remember seeing you, I think I saw you in 1982 and 1984, I saw you in 1986 and again in 1987. And it was a ferocious, tremendously energetic but angry performance. It seemed to me you had so much to be angry about on stage, but very little to be angry about off stage. Are you as angry as you used to be?
I've probably mellowed a little. I probably get angry, but it's a little smaller stick now. You know,
yes,
it's not so
yes,
big. So.
Yes. But it was angry music in the old days.
Oh, yeah.
What were you angry about?
Everything. There was lots of good stuff to be angry about then, so it was good.
Yeah, well, and also the image changes that one needs to go through. We've got a few snaps of images through the days, and if we can just say, here's Pat, angry in about 1982, I think. Angry Pat. Angry Pat 83.
With the dark shades on.
Angry Pat 85. Well, almost Angry Pat 87, but loosening up a bit. And sultry, smouldering, Angry Pat. Finally there. Is it difficult to come up with, you know, images all the time? Or do you find yourself looking in the mirror and think, well, I might have a change today? Is that how it comes about?
You just hope for the best. You know, you just get up and just go and hope you can... Clark helped. He was good.
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah. So, and what size band are you working with these days? Is it still the full brunt of 7-piece?
Small. No, it's 5 pieces.
5 pieces? Yeah. Oh, that's great. So you're at Selena's in Sydney.
Yes, tomorrow night at Selena's in the Coogee Bay Hotel, and then on Sunday at the Roxy nightclub, one of Roy and my favourite venues, the Roxy in Brisbane. Is a tremendous club. And then on Monday the 5th of June, obviously this coming Monday, the Palace in St Kilda, which is a terrific part of Melbourne for those who haven't been there before. That's a real house down there, the Palace.
Just finally, Pat, are you going to get a chance to get out and about and see much of Australia? You're going to go to the Blue Mountains, for example? You're going to go to the Willerowang Power Station? Are you going to go to corn, which we mentioned earlier.
The Kiama blowhole.
The Kiama blowhole.
And the big sheep at Goulburn. For God's sake, don't miss the big merino at Goulburn. It's something they won't have in America. You can say, I've been
go to
the
Vienna World there. Vienna World is marvellous.
And get an espresso coffee.
Yes,
That's
good,
tremendous. Now, of course, it's time to play. You must remember this. And we've got some prizes here. Yes. It's a simple game for simple people, and it's based on a knowledge of current sporting events in Australia. And the prizes are this week a hat, the Get a Dog hat, a copy of the new CD that Roy and myself have put out. It's all records, it's all tunes, it's all hits. It's the Allan Border, cricket's first saint, bit of gear, and of course the hat, the plate. Now, no self-respecting Ian fan would not have this in his or her collection. Remember, no food and no washing, please. Otherwise, the picture just goes and you're just left with a plain white plate, and that wouldn't be much of a conversation starter. But Roy, who's Pat playing for this evening?
Yes, Pat, you're playing for someone who's having a birthday here in the Club Buggery audience with us tonight. You're playing for, he's named after the poet, that is Robert Browning, who happens to be... Where's Robert? Where is he? Where is he? Is he about? Yes? I can see a bit of movement over here. Here he is over here in the red skimming. The red skimming. Yeah. You'll be playing for Robert. Now, so we'll roll a bit of footage, Pat, and you're going to tell us by gestalt what happens next. Now, we turn
Roy
back
will
the
take
clock.
you through it. Obviously, we turn back the clock to 1981.
Yes.
This is a one-day cricket match. Trevor Chappell on screen. MCG.
Yes.
New Zealand v Australia. Very close match. 6 runs needed for the New Zealanders to win.
Yes, and
the
then
new batter comes in.
McKechnie
comes out.
And we'll see him in a moment. Gee, these New Zealanders, they don't know how to lose, do they? They don't like losing. But that's Trevor Chappell, Pat, who
you know his brother Ian,
very well.
And Greg, of course.
Yes.
And here we see the ball, the final ball of the match. What happens next?
Did he bowl underarm?
Let's have a look. Yes! Yes, you know your cricket, Pat.
And for getting that right, Pat, we'd like to present you with this CD of Allan Border's Cricket First Saint. Now, on the way out, can we deliver those to the birthday boy, Robert Browning? And I ask the Club Buggery audience to thank Pat Benatar. Why she knocked back the Vegemite. I thought that was a beautiful gesture and a tremendous way to welcome a newcomer to Australia who hasn't been here before.
And I think she would have loved it.
I do too. I get the feeling that she's kicking herself right now. Bugger me, I should have hoed into the Vegemite. And now regular viewers of Club Buggery will know this is the spot where we pay homage to our fallen comrades, no matter what their field of endeavour. We do this simply by asking prominent Australians to perform a song made famous by Dean Martin. Tonight we stand in attention, in silence, in the hope that Steeler Brett Rodwell will be able to play the game before the end of the century once again. We do so hoping those 2 plucky Richmond Tigers, Matthew Richardson and Stuart Wigney, can get back up into the starting lineup before you can stay eat 'em alive Tigers. And while we're standing here in attention in the Ian Smith date room, we ask the performance of my woman, my wife, to be undertaken by, well, this is an absolute thrill. Well, the audience has said it all because it's Joe Boosner and Marlene Boosner. Go in hard early, Joe. Jab him left, go right, son.
Hands that are strong but wrinkled, doing work that never gets done. Hair that's lost some of its beauty by too many hours in the sun. Eyes that show some disappointment, and there's been quite a lot in my life. She's the foundation I lean on. My woman, my woman, my wife. Every day has been uphill. We climb, but we can't reach the top. I'm weak and I'm easily discouraged. She just smiles when I want to start. Lips that are weary but tender, with love that strengthens my life. Saint in a dress made of gingham, my woman, my woman, my wife. Ooh, little babies were born in the spring, but died when the winter was new. I lost control of my mind and my soul, but my woman's faith carried us through. When she reaches that river, Lord, you know what she's worth. Give her that mansion up yonder, 'cause she's been through hell here on earth. Lord, give her my share of heaven, if I've earned any here in this life. 'Cause God, I believe she deserves it. My woman, my woman, my wife. My woman, my woman, my wife.
You're here live on Club Buggery in the Date with Ian Smith room.
Yes, Roy, when you suggested Joe was the one to do that song, I had doubts about it, but hasn't he pulled it off beautifully? There's something about it, it combines power and sensuality.
Power and passion.
Power and passion and a certain touch of sensitivity, and I saw downstairs every so often, I hope the Club Buggery audience saw a swelling in the trouser. I think that's the thing that
Sums up Joe, doesn't it?
It does.
Sets Joe apart from most other footballers.
Now, obviously,
boxers, I should say.
actually, before Bill Harrigan left, he wanted to pass on what he thought of the audience's dress, and he's picked out a winner of this fabulous meat tray. Take us through it, Roy.
Yes, actually, I was out this morning.
Shooting.
I managed to kill a few dogs and simply minced them up and made sausages out of them. We've got an Alsatian here, a Rottweiler here. These are a little bit interesting. They were just the bits left over. I didn't
like teeth and
I didn't know what to do with them. So,
in they went.
Yeah.
And I like this one here. This is pure platypus here.
Yes.
A lot of people are a bit squeamish about eating plat, but it comes out very gamey.
Yes.
Very wet, gamey sort of taste. It's beautiful.
Anyway, Bill
Yes,
suggested...
who did he select, Roy?
Yes, he selected a couple of very, very well-dressed and well-credentialed gentlemen over here. Well done. And thanks for going to so much trouble.
Thrilled to be getting all that meat, and they've obviously got a big weekend on.
Oh, they're over the moon!
So it'll save them shooting. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's a very special treat. Obviously, it just wasn't enough to get Pat Benatar in for a bit of a chin wag. We've had to ask her back for a bit of a musical spray, and here she is, joined by hubby on guitar. That is hubby Neil on guitar with a doozy. It's Let's Stay Together. Take it away, Pat! let's stay together in those tour dates if you want them. Tomorrow night at Selena's in the Coogee Bay Hotel. Then on Sunday, this Sunday, the Roxy nightclub in Brisbane. And then Monday the 5th, down to the Palace at St Kilda. And now, well, look, this next item just gets more and more mail. More and more people are interested in cats, so why delay? Let's get over to Anne Fulwood's Wonderful World of Cats.
Wonderful world of cats. With Anne Fulwood.
Hi everyone, I'm Anne Fulwood back again from the Channel 10 Late Night News, and I'm here for the Wonderful World of Cats. Now, this is the second last lesson in cat selection, so I want to talk about an often neglected area that's taken for granted when choosing a cat. And this is what we call foundation. There are two basic types, gabled and compressed. Both are good. Now, look at the difference between these two fellas. This one is gabled profoundly, whereas this one, if I can pick up the little chap, is as compressed as you would ever see. Now, Uncle Don in Adelaide had a great preference for cats with gabled foundations, as he argued they were better breeders. Now, there's no evidence to suggest this, however. Believe me, I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with compressed foundation. In fact, in breeding, I prefer to cross a gabled with a compressed because I think you get better boxing. Now look at this one. I bred him and you could never in a million years tell he was a half gable, could you? So gabled and compressed, both good. See you next week. Bye for now.
Yes, and so we come to that moment of truth in the show, and that's the results section. And in the AFL, I'll take the rugby league first, Roy.
Yes, in the rugby league, Canberra 18, Illawarra 6. No surprises there.
And in the AFL, a bit of an upset. Essendon got 15-9-99, but they couldn't hold off North Melbourne 19-12-126. So a win to Wayne Carey's Kangaroos. And in the NBL, Roy?
Yes, Gold Coast defeated Newcastle. That is the Knee-Kern Falcons, my favourite team. Unfortunately, they went down again tonight. Bad luck.
Now, of course, obviously, Roy and I have got a busy weekend. I'm going to see Pat at Selena's tomorrow night.
Yes,
and,
of course.
Obviously, before then, I'm going to catch Lonnie Lee at the Green Acres Bowling Club. Now, I don't know how many people remember Lonnie Lee. He had a song, I think it was called I Found a New Love. It's a beauty. Right. Whenever the band strikes it up and Lonnie comes up, I found a new love. It's a true love. You get the idea? I just...
No, it's beautiful.
Rubble.
Evocative number, yeah. You're fun.
What are you doing, Roy? What have you got on the...
I'm going to see David Gilchrist, HG.
The Alcan Man.
The Alcan Man.
Yes, how does the Alcan Man work?
Clean up your house with... Alcan. He's the bloke that does the wigs. He used to be the Simon's Carpets man, I think, before that. So I'll be off to see him at the Edelong RSL after I've taken in, obviously, Pat at Selena. So it's going to be very, 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 very busy.
Now, sadly, we come to the end of another Club Buggery. On behalf of, obviously, everybody here in the Ian Smith's date room, we'd like to thank Bill Harrigan, Pat Benatar, Joe and Marlene Bosner. Well, you know, it goes on and on and on. Jabe Scali, the V8 dancers, the Sones and the Cedrics, and you, the audience, whether here in the Ian Smith or at home there under the doona having a bit of fiddle, and you can start. Look, Roy, when you look at highlights, there's so many, but I think we've saved the best till last once again. I think that if it hasn't turned hard by now, this will do the trick. And ladies and gentlemen...
He was feeling crook.
He was very crook.
He was crook earlier.
He's been eating too much spun cave, and he likes his spun cave. It's just
raw.
a hint of
It's too raw.
Too raw.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's a good idea, but let's face it, he's lubricated. He's like an old-fashioned penny bunger about to explode. Please welcome him down, because he's the come-on-down man, the giant of the G-chord. Here he is to close the show, Ian Turpie. See you next week.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. Put your glad rags on, join me, hon. Have some fun when the clock strikes 1. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. Gonna rock, rock, rock till the broad daylight. Gonna rock around the clock tonight. Well, when the clock strikes 2, 3 and 4, if the band goes down, we'll yell for more. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. Gonna rock till the broad daylight. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. Hey, she's all right, this girl. You're too good. Sit down. Time 3, 5, 6 and 7. We'll be going in a 7th. Then we're gonna rock around the clock tonight. We're gonna rock till the broad daylight. Gonna rock around the clock tonight. strikes 12, we'll do our best. Rock around the clock again. Gonna rock around the clock tonight. Gonna rock, rock, rock till broad daylight. Rock, gonna rock around the clock
I can tell you as an exclusive here on McFeast.
Any truth in the rumour that you'll be taking over from Glen Ridge on Sale of the Century?
You body pierced John Howard?
What a fascinating insight into a show.